All right, fellas, we're going to go ahead and move from that one to the rookie MVP. And this one was a wild year for rookies, man. How about Brock Bowers, man? So if you can't see it on the screen, you got Brock Bowers, Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Bo Nix, Brian Thomas Jr. And Brian Thomas Jr. had himself one hell of a year quietly because Jacksonville was kind of in disarray this year. But Brian Thomas Jr. put up some numbers. Brock Bowers breaking the tight end record. Jaden Daniels taking the team all the way to the NFC Championship game, and Malik Neighbors on a really bad team stood out. Bo Nix making the playoffs in his first year. All of these guys absolutely played lights out, but I think it's easy. It's easy to see that I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels in this one. Jaden Daniels took him to the Tennessee Championship game. Nobody expected that. The defense was horrible. I'm going Jaden Daniels without a doubt in this one. Mr. BC, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one. Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's almost always exclusively a quarterback award. I know Brock Bowers had a once-in-a-generation type season breaking the tight end receiving record, which, I mean, I think that should get him it. But again, Jane Daniels popping off, whether it's rushing or passing, leading his team in the NFC title game. The story writes itself. Although, and I want to give a shout out real quick. All these guys on the list are great, but there's one dude I think that in terms of popularity probably trumps them all, and that is Mr. Bucky Irving for sure. What he did in Tampa for sure, like the Bucky chants at the stands, and also too with the Ducky Irving. Like, come on, it just writes itself. I think he definitely should have been in on this list, but Jane Daniels, it's his award, and he's gonna take it home. I think relatively easy. A few votes for Brock Bowers.
All right, Mike, what's your pick for offensive rookie of the year?
I'm gonna go Brock Bowers, man, because he didn't have a quarterback out there that was really slinging the ball like that to really get him the ball, and no matter what, he was getting open. It's hard for linebackers in the league to really cover big tight ends and speedy tight ends and with sticky glue hands out there. And so he was doing a lot of work. The only I get why you would go Jaden Daniels, because he took the team to the NFC Championship and he had a phenomenal year. But if you look at the stats, Bo Nix had a better year than Jaden Daniels when it comes to passing yards and passing TDs and all that, if you look at the stats. So it's and he took his team to the playoffs as well. Obviously, NFC Championship is further than what Bo Nix was. But to me, the most impactful offensive rookie was Brock Bowers this year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's wild, man. That whole thing about, should these guys sit for a little bit and learn? Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix prove that if you got it, you got it, and I don't think it necessarily always takes that time to do it. I mean, the comparison with the two, Jaden Daniels threw 9 interceptions, Bo Nix threw 12. So they were, neck and neck with each other, pretty much almost the same completion rate. I just feel like Jaden Daniels was so much more impactful. But you could easily make the case for any of these guys, and what a rookie class this has been, honestly. And I think that's a very underrated point that you brought up about Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, who is it? Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and me might have been throwing him passes. So the fact that he set records, and the fact that he set records for tight ends in a position that normally your rookie year you don't thrive. It usually takes you 1 or 2 years because it's a very difficult position to learn. But Brock Bowers had one hell of a year, and Brian Thomas Jr. seems like the real deal too. As well as Malik Neighbors, man. I think all these I think we'll be talking about all of these guys for a long time to come. And it's not like a one-hit wonder with any of these guys.
Yeah, this is probably the best, if not one of the best, if not the best offensive draft classes in a very long time. When you're this deep and there's still guys that you can pop off and name and rattle off, I think it goes to show as well why there were so many offensive players selected before defense in the draft this year.
Agreed. All right, so we'll go ahead and recap this one, and we got the big daddy of them all, the MVP, next. All right, Mr. BC, who is your pick for offensive rookie of the year?
Should be Brock Bowers, but I'm going to lean Jaden Daniels once again because the story and the narrative deems so. Dude was a stud throughout the season, and he took his team the distance compared to everybody else.
I'm going Jaden Daniels. I do agree with you that Brock Bowers is very, very good and very deserving of it and set records. But I just like what Jaden Daniels is bringing to the Commanders. They haven't made the playoffs in God knows how long, and he had a hell of a year. Looked very poised and looked like he's the real deal. Mr. G. Mike.
I got Brock Bowers of the Las Vegas Raiders. What he did on offense this year with a QB3 at the position, in my opinion, was incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And I think you're completely right that all of these guys are all very, very deserving